relax and find your center, whether you choose to lay down onto your back or you want to start by sitting at the very beginning, it really doesn't matter. Those extra things, putting blocks under your head or other things like that, added bonuses that are going to make you relax easier, even better too. So give yourself a moment to find your center here. Just going to take that opportunity to relax. So now, in the email that you might have received, we were to have something that we could use as a strap and a block with us today. Remember, you can always use anything from a scarf to a tie, as well as a blanket in replacement of a block, pillow, books, different things like that that can help. So, with a nice and deep breath, start to feel the outer edges of your shoulders melting in towards your mat, feeling the edges of your hips doing the same. And then a nice deep breath. And as you release that breath calmly through your nose, let go. Don't worry. You are exactly as you should be right this moment. You don't need to be anything else. There is no perfect way to lay here. There's no perfect way to breathe. Just feeling that breath coming and going and letting our thoughts do the same. Our judgment, anything. As we move our breath, we move our energy, our body, and connect to that space. Start to have a little movement. Wiggle the nose a touch. Feel the muscles on your face relax. The fingers, the toes. Again, a deep breath as we feel that energy going down to do that. We feel the support, the length of the body here. Maybe you're starting to wake up a little with that breath. Bring your elbows there, lift up your hands. Push out through your palms, drawing the fingers back, and then draw the palms forward and open again. Just really encouraging yourself to feel that through your forearms. So just a little muscle stretch. And then, like before, we'll just relax that down, shift into it. Let's bring our feet up onto the mat. As your feet draw in, of course, we'll flatten out a little more at the lower back as we bring your feet nice and wide. Just bring your arms just a touch out of the way so that we can drop those knees over. We're just going to observe, what are we feeling there through the hips and through our back as we create a little bit of that mobility. Again, let that breath go with you, with that energy, moving it through. We're going to use our strap to give us just a nice connection here with our bound ankle today. So when you have your strap, scarf, whatever you're using, you're just going to bring your knees up, tuck them in, and then take your strap and bring it around the outside of your feet, and allowing your feet to come together so that the soles of the feet are touching. Then from there, just draw the heels in, don't necessarily squeeze, and then support them, sliding the strap through the hands, bringing your feet down onto the mat. From there, a little extra tuck of the heels in, and make sure you can go so far you feel like you're bowing your back or you're rounding out your lumbar. Now, once you have them there, again, you can always go a little touch. That's why we have the strap, to be able to do just a little bit more. So now, wherever you are, take that strap and wrap it around your hands once. Just saves you from squeezing the strap too tight. Now, make sure your hands are down inside your groin there, inside your legs. Come above those hips so that the strap actually sits on top of the legs instead of your hands. That way then you'll hopefully be able to relax the shoulders And if you're wanting to add more strength, you can use your muscles on your arms, not your neck, not your shoulders. So you can always tuck it. Then again, relax the shoulders. Soften your eyes, maybe even. Deep breath. Again, double check. Can you relax the shoulders? Relax the belly in towards the body a little bit, and then let's see, can we draw the heels just a touch closer here again? Maybe now you're adding a little movement. Feel again, the lower belly drawing down, feeling that lower back, just connecting just a little bit more towards the mat. May not be fully touching, that's okay. And when you're ready, relax the arms even more, and even the pull that you have there on the strap. When you're ready, kind of push your heels out a touch. So it's again not so holding close, and then bring your arms up. You're going to pull those legs up and bring them up into the center. From there, let's just have a little movement on our back, nothing crazy. Just holding our legs above here. Of course, we're soft at our knees. We're just creating a bit of a push and connect to our hips towards the mat. As you guys back to the center again, just relax, and then maybe bring your legs just a little bit further away from you so that they're not pulled on top of your hips. We're going to bring our right foot out of the strap, down onto the mat. From there, continue to hold the strap. We're going to start to slide it towards the foot, or the ball of the foot a little more. We don't want it right across the arch, so just avoiding the arch and touch. So just going a little further forward. We're going to just press just gently out of the heel. And then with the softness at our knee, we're going to start to guide that leg towards us. Now, as much as we're bringing the leg towards us, we're going to be rooting down through that hip so we can feel length as we feel the stretch. It's not just stretching, jumping, things are rounding. We're going to push a little strength, a little stretch. Again, if you're going with that, I want to get really into there today. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed and you're using your muscles in the arms. Use that stretching. Now the breath, that's probably your easiest way of recognizing. Am I really, pushing too much too far? Let's think about sliding that right leg out straight. Check your breath. Relax once again at the shoulders. Breathe. Soften the muscles under your face. And then wait for that inhale. Let's take that leg up and give it a little sway. Notice what you're feeling. Did it travel? Where's that stretch really focused on? Now we're going to work that inner thigh just a little bit more. So let's bring our left hand up, bring the strap together. Then we're going to wrap around just the left hand. So bring it around the outside. Relax the shoulders again. So just like before, we're going to push gently from the heel, pressing down through the hip. Bring your right arm out to your T. And then as you're ready, exhale, start to drop your leg out to the side. Push with that right leg away from you, working on grounding that hip into the mat because you don't want to roll it over. If we're finding that's happening, you see about relaxing the shoulder, bringing your block over, and that way then you can rest some of the heaviness of the leg onto a block, and that should help ensure that our right hip is creating that root down. That way we're only stretching our inner thigh. Deep breaths again. We widen from the shoulders, lengthen out from our breath in our body. If you are experiencing a lot of discomfort out of the hip flexor area, right there at the top of your hip and by your groin on your right leg, see about sliding that foot up so your knee is now bent. It should allow you to go back to just working the inner thigh on your left leg. So now make sure your knee goes even more bent. So get some freedom there as you bring your leg back into the center. So that way you can get a nice gentle sway here. Again, just loosening up. Now, if you did bring your right leg up, just slide it back out long again. And then bring your right arm up to grab the strap. That way then we can create our twist. We're going to wrap the strap around the hand, bringing that left arm out to the side. Now, really bend that knee in towards you, allowing that knee to drop, and then kind of relaxing at those hips there. That way then we can open up. So we're going to lengthen by taking a nice deep breath, opening the ribs away from our hips. And then as you exhale, start to bring your leg across the body. And allow that hip to lift and rotate up. Try to keep that shoulder down if you can. Now, just like on the other side, if you feel like you would benefit from having some support, bring your block over, or both if you have two, and maybe even lift to draw that right hip under. Check your breath. Feel yourself reach out from all this, out from those arms, those legs, crown of the head. Feel that twist, that opening coming from our center. Maybe you're feeling and experiencing a lot throughout your hip and your leg. Oh, it's so nice for that leg. Maybe not right at the moment, but we'll get there. So let's relax again. Bend your knee in towards you. Just making it easier and roll it back to your center. Just slide the hand out so that way you can really just relax that leg. And then just to make it easier, I would slide your other foot up into the strap, and that way it's easier to switch. Bringing our left foot down, take this opportunity though, root the hips, relax the shoulders. From that spot, ground down, remember? So the strap goes towards the ball of the foot just a little bit more. That way then from there, we can wrap the strap around the hand, soft into the knee, push through those hips as we start to draw the legs towards us. Maybe you're just letting your arms kind of dangle here and you're using gravity to create that stretch. Again, just make sure it's not coming from the shoulders. If you're thinking of going a little further, maybe you wrap the arms in so that way then you're using your muscles in the arms to draw towards you. Whether that left foot is up or it's out straight, it really is going to be, how's it feeling today? Which one allows you to get more stretch? That's the one we want to work with. Allowing us to be able to breathe and to lengthen at the same time. Feel again the breath moving through that leg, pushing down through the hip. Extend a little more out of your heel. And then nice and slow, let's draw the leg up and a nice gentle sway. So from there, then we're going to be able to bring it into that side stretch. So as you reach out with your right hand, wrap around. Remember, relax the shoulder. That's the way that we can use the arms. Making sure your wrist is also part of this. So notice as you go out, you don't end up flipping your wrist really heavy. So keep it centered. Relax the shoulders. Just bring your left arm out. Keeping that shoulder, that hip grounded down. We're going to start to drop that leg away. If your blocks are there, perfect. Maybe take the turn, slide them in. Remembering those little things we can do to help it work with our body. Maybe that left foot's up. Using the muscle in the arm, making sure the wrist isn't really flipped. Then remembering that we're just here to stretch out. So how's the breath? Calm your shoulders. Grounding in. As you relax, you just got to check back in again, making sure that you're keeping that foundation first. Let's all get one more nice big breath. Really trying to work it into that inner thigh. So remember, bend the knee in towards you a little bit and bring it back up to the center. Let's add a gentle sway. From here, maybe switching your block over, but we're going to use the opposite hand to grab the strap. So we reach up, left hand, wrap it around. Saves the wrist from squeezing so tight. Bring your right arm out to the side. Relax through the shoulders. Softness at the knees, so just a little bit more than what we've been doing for the stretching. That way then as we come over, we have a little more control. We'll exhale, start to guide the leg over. So as it starts to shift over, again, maybe using your blocks, whatever variation that can give you support. Lift your hips, give that right hip a little tuck under. As we open up from those shoulders, body, relax and breathe here. One more breath. Think of just lengthening out of all of the spaces. And then again, just keep that knee a little tucked in and take your time. Load it back up into that center. Give it a nice little sway. And then as time as you're ready, just release the strap and bring that foot down onto the mat. Let's bring our left foot up as we root down the lower back. Take that moment. Let's just find stillness for a second. Rounded through the feet, through the hips and the shoulders. Walking your feet out a little wider as you start to keep those knees, that windshield wiper sway. Loosen up again a little there. The next time that those arms drop over, or legs rather, drop over to the right, just sweep your arms up and roll over, and then take your time. Let's come up into our seat, finding your way in, and then we're going to go all the way around. So we're going to go into our table position and scoot it back. So most important part, as I always say, is those fingers spread wide, and then the eyes of the elbows, the creases of our elbows just facing inwards. That way then our shoulders are relaxed, and we're going to use the strength here. The chest kind of lifts from the mat, and again, just using a bit of the back as our support system. So now, as we're into the center, we're going to take that thread the needle just a little further today. So with your left leg, I want you to bring it in, and then kick it out to your side. And just lay that foot flat. Toes are going to be pointing forward, just like your fingers are. You got that nice root towards the outer side of our foot. And we're trying to have it come out straight from that hip. From there, we're going to then bring our weight forward. So make sure you're right on top of those wrists still. Let's bring that left arm out to the side. Sorry, right arm out to the side. So bring it out straight from that shoulder. Now take an inhale and reach up. Reaching up to the sky, pull that right hip into the body. Don't let it push away from you. Now we're going to root that arm down and go under, just like we do in our thread the needle. Drop onto that shoulder and onto the side of the head. Now this is a great spot to be. There's a lot of shifting, a lot of energy here. If you feel comfortable though, you can always bring your left arm up towards the ceiling and feel yourself rotating just that much more onto that right shoulder. We're thinking of allowing that shoulder blade to guide gently away from our center, our spine. So gentle was when the hand was on your mat, then that's where it should be. One more breath, wherever you're experiencing this. Don't forget, root to the baby toe on your left foot. Bringing that left arm, let's bring the body up. Nice and slow. Center those hands under the shoulders with the elbows in. Let's bring that left leg back inside. Add that little kick, little sway of the hips. Don't forget, we want to tuck the chest up just so we open up through the body, the back there. Good support. Those elbows are turned in. Let's get the other side. Right leg stretches out. Straight out from our hip, well, as best as we can anyway. Stay on top of that knee. Make sure you didn't move on the inside of your left knee. From there, just a little bit of a push to that baby toe foot, side of our foot. We're going to lift that left arm up. So bring it out to the side. Pull that belly button in. Let's reach up. Try not to let your hip kick away. Push again towards the baby toe side of that right foot. Let's bring that arm down and onto the shoulder. Root the head. Again, work with the body here. As we know, we could bring the arm up. It could stay down. Now, another way to support yourself, please stay as you are if you're comfortable. If you're finding this a little challenging, what you can do is you can bring your blocks into play, or a pillow, or a blanket. And instead of going so far to the ground, you can always lay your shoulder and your head on your blocks. And that way, again, you're getting the stretch, but you're not feeling like you have to go so low. It's not as intense, maybe a little more supported. Let's all take that time, nice and slow. The right arm comes down, supports. As we come back to our table position, bring that leg in. Give the body a little shake. Those hips a little sway. Now we're going to take that even further. So drop the hips and look over the opposite shoulder. Really push out to the side of your hip there. Then tuck your belly. Let's go to the other one. And push over the hip. Look over that shoulder back. And then again, back back to your center. As you get there, if you did have your blocks like I did, just move them up, but maybe keep them handy in case you would like them. Now this one, frog, if you've ever experienced frog, it's a treat. We're gonna turn so that we have our mat underneath our knees because it can be quite intense. So if you actually have a pillow or a blanket, please bring that in and you could use that under your knees instead. So now from our table position, we're just gonna open our knees. Open your feet to match your knees, open your knees. Open your feet to match your knees, meaning your shins and your feet come straight out from those knees, go down again. And you're just basically slowly walking out into basically a bent knee splits. Now you're gonna drop your feet so that they face away from you. So as your knees come down, your feet are gonna turn out. So the toes are pointing away from you. As they do that, then you're going to see again about sliding the groin down into that center. And then come forward. Now, whether you go on your mat or you go on a block, right? This is where your blocks might be handy. So you can feel the pressure on the inside of your knees. Now, the pressure should be because the hardness of the floor, not because there's pull from the inside. So this is wonderful frog pose. So you can see how and why it's so wonderful. One thing we can do to make it just a little easier, a little nicer for the body is if you bring your heels a touch closer than your knees are, you might notice it gives you a little freedom there. Now, while we're here, we can then rock our weight forward just a touch and then sway your weight back a touch, like your bum's going back to the heels. Then we sway forward a touch and we can sway away back. Breathe. Back, not big movement. Now, the next time you sway forward, I'm going to suggest keep going until your chest comes forward towards your arms. Then from there, I was just going to wiggle. There's no brace here, unfortunately. We kind of wiggle our legs out, give them a little shake as we slowly kind of walk them towards each other again into that center. So from there, maybe just a little sway as you're propped up on your toes. Just sway your heels a little side to side. And we're going to get into a good flow just to relax our hips from all that deep stretching. So when you're ready, bring your hands under the shoulders. Squeeze your elbows in. Let's push up and back towards our table. Now remember, elbows in. Fingers grounded. Let's curl our toes. When you're ready, tuck your belly, pushing those hips up nice and high, root those heels towards the mat. Pedaling, just kind of going up and down, great way of massaging the length into our legs. So from here, let's create that flow. If you would rather go to child's pose, please do so. If you're interested, let's move the energy. Come forward into your plank. Bring your feet and your knees to kiss together at the center. Let's lower the knees first. Flatten the feet. We're still squeezing though. Heels, knees. Squeeze the bum, squeeze the shoulders, lower. Keeping that squeeze, let's look forward. Squeeze those shoulders. Try not to use your hands. And lower. Still squeezing everything together. So the heels, the tush, the elbows, the shoulders push up. Curl the toes, push back. Stretching again down through those heels. Lengthening out of those hamstrings. Pushing through the knuckle of our pointer finger. Let's go through that flow again. Nice and deep breath. Come forward. Bring your knees down, squeeze. Squeeze your heels, squeeze your tush, your shoulders as you lower flat to the mat. Continue to squeeze as you rise up. Remember, we don't use our hands in the low variation. Lower it down again. Squeeze everything in, press up, and shift back. Pushing those heels towards the mat, feeling that length come out of our legs. ground in. With your next breath, we're going to take that right leg up to the sky, bring your knee into the chest, and attempt to root it between. Land short, pick it up, and bring it there. Once you've got it, turn your back heel down, put your hands on your front knee. Let's bring ourselves all the way up, and then we're going to turn that foot in as well. So we're in that nice, good toes straight out, hips are centered in between those legs. Now we're going to just tuck our heels in a touch, just a little closer than our toes are. We're going to push out. Now make sure you're not rotating the inside of your foot, so we ground equal. Maybe even just a little lift of our toes if we have that for a rest. So with a tuck of our tailbone, so right away, grab your hips and tuck your tailbone. We feel a little squeeze in our quads. Now your knees are going wide, not forward, wide. So think almost as if you're pushing your knees out as you start to sit. Push your knees out, start to sit. Keeping that sensation of tucking our tailbone, bringing our ribcage in, push your knees nice and wide, sit a little lower. Let's bring those arms up, reach them up to the sky. Look. Now bend your elbows so they come straight out from your shoulders. Perfect. Pull that sternum back in, thinking of, call it knitting together. So bring the sternum together. Feel that squeeze. Deep breath. So we're thinking again, rotating our weight towards our heels and the outer edges of our feet. Knees wide. Tailbone and ribcage knitting together. Shoulders wide. Deep breath. Let's stand up. Push through the legs. Deep breath. Squeeze into the tush a little. Let's go right back where we came from. Sit it down. Tuck your tailbone, bend into your knees. Perfect. Got us close again. Excellent. Now bring your right elbow towards your knee and let your left arm reach up and over. And then right away, switch. Center. Push your knees wide. Over. Reach over with that right arm. Stretch. Come back into your center. Tuck your tailbone, your ribcage. Reach up. Just a little mini break. Let's go again. Down, wide knees, got us close, stretch. Now bring your hands to your knees. Lean forward. Yeah, let that bum stick out. Now when you're ready, we're gonna look over our left shoulder. So push that right arm straight and look over that left shoulder. Push that knee wide. Turn in. Let's try the other one. Push that left knee wide. Drop that shoulder and look over the right. Push. Keep your weight back into your heels. Turn into your center. Straighten those legs up. Reach up. Now this time, just let your arms relax down. Roll the shoulders back. Pause. Let's turn those feet so that they face forward. And then from here, again, lift up. So a little tuck of your bum under. Then just push those hips back, lean forward. Make sure your knees aren't locking on you. Let's lower. Drop the head down, let the arms do the same. Deep breath, encourage gravity to give in here. Let yourself ground in. Deep breath. Just like before, we're thinking of rooting to the outer edges of our feet and then pushing down through those heels. Keeping this nice inner thigh connection so that we're not just dumping into the easiest area to stretch out of. Let your hips go just very softly, side to side. Just a little sway. Maybe you want to go further. Grab your opposite elbows. Let your head fall in there. Maybe kind of a rag doll. A little sway with the torso. When you're ready, melt back to the center with the arms towards the mat. Slide them up into the hips. From there, just lift your chin. It's going to help you create a flat back, pushing through those heels up, tuck the tailbone. Take a nice good breath. Let's again reach up to the sky, lift. Same idea. Push those hips back, reach forward, soften your knees if you can. Now let's reach down for the mat. And if the mat feels really far away, grab a block. Don't fight with trying to get to the mat. Once you have yourself set up, you're going to place your left hand right underneath the face and just turn that left elbow so it's facing in towards the right. With your breath, we're going to start to take that right arm up, push the ground away, start to reach up to the sky. No worries where you are. Now, can we bring our weight equal in our hips again? Notice, did all your weight drop over? You feeling a really big inner thigh stretch on your left side? Can we pull that hip over so we feel more of a twist in the torso? Bring that arm down. Try to relax your shoulders. Notice if you let that really stress up to the earlobes. Hips are nice and equal, so can you feel how you're centered with your weight and in the inner thigh? Let's see about keeping that so that right elbow turns in, reaching out to the side. With the next breath, let's lift up. Try not to turn at the hips, just a twist at that torso. Keeping the shoulder relaxed, maybe the hands on the head instead. Don't bite your shoulder. Tuck and lengthen. Let's come back down into that center. Bend into the knees. And then nice, good deep breath. Let's come up. And this time lift those arms up, stretch up to the sky. And just the arms round down. Once you are rooted there, just give the shoulders a nice little reset. We're going to turn towards the front of our mat. So you're just going to turn your feet so that you're facing the front. We're going to go down over that right leg so that we can lift it back. And we go right back into our downward dog again. There's a lot to do in each pose, but there's also an opportunity to connect and relax there. So don't always be so worried, so technical. Just feel some of it. Let that be part of it. So soft to your knees. With your next inhale, let's shift forward again. Let's do that flow. If you're interested in taking your flow a little further, you're not going to kiss inward. So if you want to use your knees, squeeze. Otherwise, lowering down, control. Going through for an upward dog this time, pushing the arms back, the heart forward. Keeping those heels inward as we go up and back again. Letting that ground through the heels, through the pointer finger. With your next breath, again, coming forward. Once you're forward, just sweep the feet out to the side, scoot back. Bring the legs up forward again, and shift. And do a nice lower back stretch. So making sure you have one of your blocks with you. Let's lower down. Sliding the feet up. That way we can use the legs to lift the bum. So push into the mat and lift up those hips, scooting the block under. Right under the lower back, kind of the bony part there. Grounding the hips down. Let the feet be comfortable away. With those arms open, shoulders tucked. Nice, good breath there. Just gently, it starts to open up the lower back. Some days it's not so gentle. If you're having one of those days, maybe it'd be best to remove the block and work from that space instead. pushing into the feet, just enough to be able to scoot that block out of the way and lower the hips down. Get this whole new sensation of flat. And then from there, let's lengthen out. Take your feet about as wide as your mat, maybe even allowing yourself a little more than that. Feel the hips ground and then the shoulders do the same. Once again, just a nice good breath. Most important, exhale. Wiggling your nose, your fingers and your toes. Feeling as we release away the day and awaken to this moment. It's brand new. Do yourself a favor and leave what was behind. And as we awaken to this new day, new energy to bring with you, bring that right arm up to the ear. Gently guide yourself onto your side. Maybe hugging the knees in a little bit. Just take a moment. So that when you're ready, you come into your seat. Although ready to take on our day, we're still calm into this moment, still connected to this relaxing energy. The palms open once you're here. Feeling that connection we have to receiving and offering energy. Turning the palms onto your knees as you ground yourself. Remember that the attitude that you bring is 100% what you will see. Bring your hands into the heart. And thank you for sharing your energy with me today.